My name is David Wiegand. I am president of the Sparrow Group, located here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We are a 100% Navajo Indian-owned general contractor. So we participate in the private sector here in Albuquerque, also in Arizona, the tribal sector, and the federal sector. The name Sparrow Group actually came from my son. I am both Navajo, Dene, and Hopi Nation. And that is where we had my then year-and-a-half-old son named into the Hopi Nation. And through that ceremony, the name that they gave my son was Kokopoya. And in Hopi, that means the sparrow. So this was done some time before I started the company, but when I started envisioning the company and what name I would associate with it, it came to me with probably only 30 seconds of thinking about it. But it also is a guiding light in many situations where I can drive up to the job or I walk in the front door and seeing my son's name on that job sign, on the door, on the card, motivates me to make sure that this is something of value that can be utilized for many years for many people. And at one time or another, maybe my son would want to take that over. But this is our Sparrow Group, not only here in the office and in the field, but at the house. That is our Sparrow Group. And it was always started as an envision to help where we can. I chose to look at starting the business from the other perspective, and that was, what is the need that I could fulfill? And once I asked myself that, it was really a resounding, immediate answer back, and to be able to help the communities, the Native communities. So that was truly the inspiration behind starting the company, was helping the Native communities where we could. Having grown up overseas, experiencing a lot of different cultures, and having met some amazing people, nothing made me more proud to be an American than spending some time overseas and experiencing and seeing what other people had to accept in their lives. Truly good people that would give you the shirt off of their back that they didn't have. And I brought that back to the United States and saw an immediate reflection of that on some of the tribes. Through the benefit of perspective, I knew that it was possible, and I knew that we could possibly provide. The motivation for wanting to make the Sparrow Group a success is certainly wanting the need to contribute. Not only towards the needs of the customer base that we're involved with, but contribute towards the community. Contribute towards those that need our help so much outside of construction. Donating to the veterans that have served our country, participating in wellness programs and Native health initiatives. Who now can we help? When we see the smiles of a completed house on some of the reservations and the tears in their eyes, that is the motivation to build this and help so many that desperately need it for far too long. That's been the motivation behind the company. The challenges up front stemmed from getting that initial momentum into some of the arenas that we wanted to break into. So trying to get the capital base to start the company was a struggle at the beginning. Nobody wants to lend you the money unless you have the money. And so I liquidated what I had in my 401k from the last large company I worked for and started in the spare bedroom of the previous house that I lived in. But the passion was to bring that value to these organizations with what experience I had collected. Over the last 2 or 3 years during COVID, the challenges presented to us and a lot of other firms was certainly operating under the guidelines of the COVID restrictions and such, and so technology became our friend. We had a lot of remote working, teleworking for employees, and that worked during the COVID shutdown. Coming out of COVID, certainly the supply chain issues have been impacting us and the industry as a whole, but what we can do, since we cannot control some of those issues that haven't gone away and certain materials and equipment, is inform our customers of those impacts and the delays and try and schedule to meet their deadlines to give them a true depiction of what that timeline looks like from award to completion. So we've been leaning on the union. It has been a challenge, and also for administrative support in the office. We have some amazing people in the office as well as in the field. So that network of those employees is where we found a lot of other personnel resources to acquire for the upcoming uptick in the awards and projects that we have. Today, the Sparrow Group is about 52 employees strong. I think we have 8 people here in the office, and we have multiple contracts going on with a multi-million-dollar backlog of work. We have our main corporate office here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we also have another satellite office in Arizona. We looked long and hard. We've gone through several members of personnel, and now I think we've had 0 turnover in a few years. We didn't necessarily pick the right people. I think we attracted the right people to our organization, and it was just, I guess I look at it like the success of the company. It wasn't something we were chasing. It was something that our task was to attract. We attracted that, just like the personnel that we have. We employ, with all our field staff, Native American carpenters from the union, and that's a first preference, and then we move down from that criteria if no qualified Native American or Navajo applicants available. Every employee we have is absolutely important and contributes. We would not be where we are without these employees. So I always give it up to them. If anybody asks us, how did we get where we are? It was our employees. So our current status is trying to keep up with the workload, but not sacrificing quality control, quality assurance. What made us strong, we need to only reinforce as the opportunities come up. And we either all agree to go after the opportunities or we don't go after them at all. The Four Winds Diversified project initially brought a large scale of value to us in our pursuit of not only federal contracts, but private sector and tribal sector projects as well. Not only the awareness of some contacts, but what we could do on our side to make us more attractive. We'd already built a reputation for high quality execution of work, but making aware of that is what we gained from the Four Winds Diversified project. They were able to amplify that existing talent that we had and make us more attractive to entities that, quite frankly, we didn't know were out there. And they were also pivotal in us developing more of a marketing structure as far as material that we could disseminate to the multiple agencies and contacts. So they were a grand help in our not only the initial success, but the continued success in not only Indian country, but our other customer base as well. Moving forward, we're gaining more reputation, more of a good reputation in markets that we've broken into. So the goal, I guess, over the next 5 years is to build our own office. We would like to move into other self-performance areas of works and possibly start subsidiaries of the company, as we've identified other areas and agencies and customers that need help. And we're certainly moving towards expanding those services for potentially new customer bases, but to address the needs of the current as well. We have gravity now, and our short past history of safe and successful execution of projects has gained confidence with some of the larger firms that are looking to attach themselves with us and move forward with strength.